Chadesh Yameinu, Chadesh Yameinu, Kekedem, Yalalai, Lalai, Yalalai, Lalai, Yalalai, Lalai, Yalalai, Lalai, Yalalai, Page 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharem, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem, Boachem leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu li leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzeitzchem, Tzeitzchem leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shana Tova. Gamar Chatima Tova. Those are the two greetings. Really, about this time you can switch over anytime after Rosh Hashanah, but people say sometimes like 3 days before. We go from may you have a good new year to Gamar Chatima Tova, may you be signed and sealed for good. Implied in that is in Sefer Chaim, in the Book of Life. I think I explain that every year. This is probably twice the number of people that I expected at this service tonight. This is and so many youngin, Ute. If you saw my cousin Vinny, Ute. What's a Ute? So many teens. It's wonderful. And some of you are here like not even looking like your parents dragged you. So that's terrific. Speaking of teens, mine gave me this sign when I started to sing with the microphone on. So thank you, Levi, for that. But he's not wrong. I listen to the video after the services sometimes, and I'm like, oh my God, stop singing with the cantor into the microphone. So my New Year's resolution, my Jewish New Year's resolution is don't sing with the cantor in the microphone. It ruins things. We are... Huh?
You can sing anytime.
You don't listen to it. I do. We are honored to have Cantor Cohen's parents here. And here they are, Michael and Miriam, and her wife, Kylan. And so we want to invite them to come up as a family, one big happy family with the cantor, to lead us in a reading and then the blessing of our Shabbos candles.
Ready? Yeah. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Here you go. Sure, if you want. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. So we'll continue with our Kabbalat Shabbat service, starting with Psalm 95 on page 130. Please join with me. Lechu neranena l'Adonai nariah letzurishenu nekadma fanav v'todah bizmirot nariah lo yalalai lai lai yalalai lai lai yalalai lai lai yalalai lai 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 yalalai 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 lai yalalai lai 131, 4 lines from the bottom. Ya'alo sadai bechol asher bo ya'alo sadai ay 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 ya'alo sadai bechol asher bo ya'alo sadai ay 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 az yeranenu kol atzei az yeranenu כל עצי יער יעלו שדי, וכל אשר בו יעלו שדי. איי 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 יעלו שדי, וכל אשר בו יעלו שדי. איי 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 134. זמרו לאדוני בכינור, בכינור וכל זמרה. זמרו לאדוני בכינור, בכינור וכל זמרה. זמרו, זמרו לאדוני. זמרו, זמרו לאדוני. זמרו לאדוני בכינור, בכינור וכל זמרה. זמרו לאדוני בכינור, בכינור וכל זמרה. זמרו, זמרו לאדוני. זמרו, זמרו לאדוני. זמרו לאדוני בכינור, בכינור וכל זמרה. זמרו לאדוני בכינור, בכינור וכל זמרה. 138. הולך דודי לקראת סקלה, בני שבת נקבלה. הולך דודי לקראת סקלה, בני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לתפארת ולתהילה. הולך דודי לקראת סקלה, בני שבת נקבלה. הולך דודי לקראת סקלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה. בראש מקדם נזוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. הולך דודי לקראת סקלה, בני שבת נקבלה. הולך דודי לקראת סקלה, בני שבת נקבלה. Verse 3. מקדש מלך, עיר מלוכה, קומי תהי מתוך הפכה. רב לך שבט במקבחה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה. הולך דודי לקראת סקלה, בני שבת נקבלה. הולך דודי לקראת סקלה, בני שבת נקבלה. Verse 5. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך ומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. הולך דודי לקראת סקלה, בני שבת נקבלה. הולך דודי לקראת סקלה, בני שבת נקבלה. We'll rise and face the entrance where we came from, which is a little bit possibly different from where you normally come in. בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם bowing to the left, boi chala to the right, boi chala, olecha dodi likrat chala, nei Shabbat nekabela, olecha dodi likrat chala, nei Shabbat nekabela.
Can be seated.
Top of page 140. Mizmor shir leyom haShabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai. Mizmor shir leyom haShabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai. Uzamer l'shimcha elyon, uzamer l'shimcha elyon, lehagid b'boker chesdecha, b'emunatcha b'leilot. Mizmor shir leyom haShabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai. Mizmor shir leyom haShabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai.
So we'll rise as we turn to page 263 for Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה,
אמן.
ועלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכנו יומכו ובחיי דכו בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולם לעמיים.
Yitbarach.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשא בריחו לעילא מכל בחטא ושירתה, תוש בחטא ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמא ואמרו
Amen.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vaed.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Please be seated. Remember that line in Jaws where they see the shark and they're like, we're going to need a bigger boat? So half of our teens, and the rest of you are welcome to join them, are hanging out in the tech area. And as part of our building plan, we're going to build a booth there. And I'm sitting here thinking the whole time, we're going to need a bigger booth. So, yeah. Page 265, a prayer as we thank God for the blessing of evening. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach she'arim, ובתבונה משנה עתים, ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם רקיע כרצונו. בורא יום בלילה, גולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו.
חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים. אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו, בשוכבנו ובקומנו, נשיח בחוקך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה באהבתך. אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Turning to page 270 for מי כמוך. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראובניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים. זה לי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי יפאר אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, ביני ובין בני ישראל, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. Yum ba da da da, Shabbat Shabbat, yum ba da da da, Shabbat Shabbat, yum ba da da da, Shabbat Shabbat, Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. yum ba da da da. Shabbat, Shabbat, yum ba da da da. Shabbat, Shabbat, yum ba da da da. Shabbat, 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 Shalom.
Do you know the word yichus? What does yichus mean? No, that's simcha. Yichus is a little different. Lineage, right. So the avot, which we're about to say, has an insertion at this time of year. It's the paragraph, it'll sound familiar, Zochrenu l'chaim, and the cantor will change the melody when we get to it. It'll bring back, if not post-trauma from the last few days, then excitement about the days to come. We add it particularly in these 10 days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and it all sort of hinges on the word Zochrenu, remember us. But what is being remembered? Is it us that's being remembered? Our rabbis actually say, no, it's yichus, it's our lineage. Remember us just as the Avot v'Imahot begins with a litany of our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. Why do we start there? Because as we approach God, we acknowledge that we alone might not merit standing before God, but because of our yichus, because of who we are descended from, we have a right to stand here and beseech God as we do in the Amidah weekday with bakashot, with requests, and as we do on Shabbat with an acknowledgement of God's role and our relationship with God. And so we include this to connect with this idea that God, remember not just us, poor little us, but all that we've been through, all that our ancestors have done to bring us to this day, all that they schlepped through the desert and other places for, that because of that, because of our yichus, we should be inscribed for good, not only for our actions, but for the actions of those that came before us. It's sort of the reverse of the idea, the biblical notion that God will visit upon the next generation or 1,000th generation the sins of our forefathers, if you would, or of our parents, but rather because of the merit of our parents, we should be deserving of God's blessing and God's good judgment upon us. So it is ultimately who you know. Comes down to that in our prayers. Page 273 will rise for the Amidah, beginning with Adonai Sfatai.
Adonai Sfatai tiftach, Adonai Sfatai tiftach, Ufi agid tehilatecha, Ufi agid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Koneh HaKol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. זוכרנו לחיים, מלך חפץ בחיים, וכותבנו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים. מלך עוזר, מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה.
Amen. You're the choir tonight.
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מחכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורה, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. מי כמוך ברחמים, זוכר יצוריו לחיים ברחמים, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני המלך הקדוש. We stare at those words every week of the year thinking, okay, 1 week a year we get to do those insertions.
Yet they sit there all week. You can be seated, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are we going to do next? We'll turn to page 279. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Ritzeh.
Ritzeh Adonai Eloheinu be'amecha Yisrael u'tefilatam be'ahava tekabel u'tehile ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael Yisrael Amecha El Karov Lechol Korab Penei El Avadecha Vechonenu Shefach Ruchacha Aleinu V'techezena Einenu Beshuvecha LeTzion ברחמים ברוך אתה אדוני המחזיר שכינתו לציון לציון.
We'll take a moment for our own private prayers, thanking God for the blessings in our life.
שבכל יום ערב הבוקר וצהריים מעולם קיווינו לך מעולם קיווינו לך הטוב כי לא חלו רחמך והמרחם כי לא תמו חסדיך מעולם קיווינו לך מעולם קיווינו לך.
A prayer for peace, for shalom, page 282.
שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך Tasim le'olam, Tasim le'olam, Tasim le'olam. Let's join together in the special insertion in this prayer, Shalom Rav, for Shabbat Shuvah. בספר חיים ברכה ושלום ופרנסה טובה ניזכר וניכתב לפניך אנחנו וכל עמך בית ישראל לחיים טובים ולשלום ברוך אתה אדוני עושה השלום.
You know why we cover the challah on Shabbat? Everybody know? Yes, so it's not embarrassed because it's the last thing, and it shouldn't feel bad that the candles got blessed and the wine got blessed before the. Really, this is why we do it. I kind of feel that way about these paragraphs in our siddur, that they never get read, and now finally they get read.
Their moment to shine.
Their moment to shine. So we'll take a moment for on silent prayer.
Go back to those words that we began our service with. We return. An English interpretation, translation of Hashivenu Adonai Elecha Venashuva, which we say every week at the Torah service when we do Eitz Chaim and we return the Torah to the Ark. But it's also especially pertinent for the season of Teshuvah, return, coming back to the beginning of the year, returning to the cycle of Yom Kippur and the season coming up. Our special family tradition of my parents coming to visit for Rosh Hashanah, which has been great. So whatever your traditions are that you are returning to this year, or something new that you want to become a tradition, that you want to return to in yourself or in your life, repeat after me. We return, we return, together. We return, return again. We return, we return, we return, return again and again to love, to love, to love, to love. We return again to love. Hashivenu Adonai. Hashivenu Adonai Elecha Venashuva Chadei return again. We return, we return, we return, return again and again.
You turn to page 376 for Amisha Berach, a prayer for healing. We ask God's blessing on Libby Gozer, Joanne Helton, Paul Becker, Elizabeth Friedman, Avian ben Avram ben Nada, Suzanne Kadar, Mark Elster, Sharon Esther bat Gittel Velazer, Lyle Brose, Dan Pekarski, Pauline Babbins, Desmond Berghofer, Avaya Ruth bat Mendel Vishoshana, Ron Stewart, Benny Avidan, Paya Goralnik, Sandy Merwitzer, Joan Gales Howitt, Ralph Ben Sara, Chana bat Meir Avraham Bashero, Vince Antonio, Avraham ben Avraham, Claire Columbia, David Shlomo Gorney, Carla Zivit, and Janet Gill. If there are others who need in this prayer of healing, I invite you to stand and call their names out now. We'll join with our cantor, the Misha Berach, a prayer for healing, 376.
71.
Or 71. 376 is the prayer for our country. I'm not looking.
Misha Berach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May thy source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe berach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
The words to Achenu, the prayer for the hostages, is on the screen behind us or on your handout.
Achenu kol Beit Yisrael,
Achenu kol Beit Yisrael, Anatulim betzara, betzara uvashivya, haomnim bein bayam uvein bayam vasham.
Yerachem aleim veyotziem mitzara, lirvacha umeyatvel aleora, umeshivon ligeula ashta, bagala uvizman karib.
Achenu kol Beit Yisrael, Achenu kol Beit Yisrael, Hanetunim betzara, betzara uvashivya, haomdim bein bayam
Uvein bayam
avasham. A few announcements before a a story for tonight instead of a drash. This Sunday, we'll have our memorial service as we do every year at our cemetery. It's customary to return to the graves of our loved ones during the week between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur to place a stone to remember them for blessing. That'll be at 11 o'clock on Sunday. If you have Sifrei Kodesh, if you have Jewish books at home that have God's name in it, that you don't need anymore, you can bring them with you to the cemetery, a paper bag or a cardboard box, something biodegradable if there are many of them, and we will have a Geniza ceremony and bury those at the cemetery with appropriate prayers and blessings. We're going to continue our partnership with our local Israeli baker for chalot, for your break fast and the holidays beyond. So if you would like to, you can still order. How many of you got one of the challahs this year? How were they? There were none left when I went to the freezer, so good. The gentleman who does it is a really wonderful man, and this is his shlichut, this is his sacred purpose, is to make bread. We've had some wonderful conversations, and we're thrilled to be able to give him the opportunity to do this. We are going to celebrate together, celebrate the break fast at the end of Yom Kippur after Ne'ilah here in either our garden or the parkade, hopefully the garden under the tent, as we've done the last few years, if the weather cooperates. That'll be approximately 7 o'clock, 7:15. We need, though, people to bring food for that. So if you could please contribute by signing up online and making something. It doesn't have to only be sweets. It can be whatever, but something nice. Fruits and veggies are best, or welcome, I should say. We will be having a commemoration for the second anniversary of October 7th on October 5th, because October 7th is Sukkot. That will take place at a location to be announced later, but at 7 o'clock in our community. Pre-registration is required so that we can notify you for security purposes at the last moment where that'll be. It won't be a far drive. You're invited to attend a screening of the film October 8th. There may be some screaming. And that will take place on October 8th. The information's on your handout. We will have sipping in the sukkah on October 11th. A note, and there were only a few that had signed up, poker and pastrami for the men's club is being moved to a new date, November 27th. So please make note of that. It's not going to occur on October 16th as originally planned. There's more going on, but it's later in the month, or the next month actually, so I will leave it at that. Anything, Cantor? No? Okay. Once upon a time, there was an old couple who lived in great poverty. And there was great poverty throughout the land. And Yontif was coming. And it was not just an ordinary Yontif that was coming, it was Rosh Hashanah. And it wasn't just an ordinary Rosh Hashanah, it was Rosh Hashanah that came on Shabbat. And they had no money with which to make Yontif. So what to do? The wife was desperate, so she said to her husband, "Please let me go to the neighbors and ask them for a handout. Jews are a charitable people. They won't turn me down." But the husband said, "No, I'm going to go out and I'm going to find some work. Surely, in spite of the difficulties, the economic conditions in which we live, in spite of the poverty, there must be some people who need to have their shoes fixed for Yontif, and I'm a good cobbler. I would rather work than have to accept donations from other people." So the husband went out and looked for work. And the wife began to clean the house so that the house at least should be ready for Yontif, even if they weren't. She cleaned the first floor and the second floor and the attic, and then she went downstairs to clean the cellar. She cleaned the cellar, and there she found an old trunk. And she opened it up and found her husband's old blue blazer there, the blazer that she never let him wear for fear that he would use it up, the one that she always made sure to have him save for a special occasion, but no occasion was special enough. She took it out, and she noticed that it had 3 gold buttons on it. Golden buttons. Do you know how much gold was worth in those days? Not as much as it is now, but still sizable. Quickly, she cut off the gold buttons and ran with them to the grocery store. She bought food for Yontif, gefilte fish, and chicken soup, and lots of other goodies. And when she went through to the checkout counter, the clerk totaled up the bill, and it came to exactly 1 gold button. She gave it to the clerk, and she went on her way. The clerk was very happy, for he had not had a single customer all day because of the poverty throughout the land. He was thrilled to have this gold button. Then the woman went next to the antique shop, and there she bought candlesticks and 2 candles so that they could light candles in their home in honor of the holiday they had sold theirs, and so that they could make a blessing, thanking God for the new year. The owner of the store was very, very happy to have such a sale, because he had not had a single sale that day because the poverty throughout the land, and he charged her 1 gold button. She went next door to the specialty store and bought a bottle of wine. She didn't buy just ordinary wine, but the very best wine that she could in honor of the holiday. And she bought one more delicacy of the store. She bought a kugel in honor of the holiday, for she knew her husband loved kugel. She bought wine and kugel, and she paid for them with 1 gold button. And she went home to make Yontif. Meanwhile, her husband was out looking for work. He went door to door, but no one would give him any business. True, they all had shoes that needed mending, but they had no money. They couldn't afford to pay him. The man was just about to give up when he went by the grocery store, and he went in and he said to the grocer, "Do you have anything that needs mending?" And the grocer said to him, "I sure do." And he gave him his shoes to fix, and guess what he paid him with? You guessed it, 1 gold button. And then the cobbler went next door to the candlestick maker and said to him, "Do you have anything that needs mending today?" And the candlestick maker said, "I sure do." And he gave him his shoes to fix, and his wife's, and both, and he paid him with the 1 gold button that he had received that day. And then the cobbler went next door to the specialty store, and he said to the owner, "Have you any shoes you need repaired?" And the specialty store man said, "I sure do." And he gave him his shoes and his wife's shoes to fix, and he paid him with the 1 gold button that he had just taken in. So now the cobbler had 3 gold buttons in his pocket. The cobbler was very happy, but there was one catch. By the time he finished fixing all of the shoes, it was almost dark, almost Shabbos. It was too late to purchase food for Yontif. And so he came home. He got back just as the sun was setting. He didn't even have time to change his clothes or even to empty his pockets before the Sabbath and the holiday began. He walked in, and guess what? The house was lit, the table was set, and there were candles, and there was food, and there was wine, and there was even a kugel on the table. The cobbler was very happy, but part of him was sad at the same time. He figured that his wife must have gone and borrowed or begged from the neighbors for all of this, but what could he do? It was Shabbat, and it was Yontif, it was Yom Tov. So he sat there all through the meal, and he kept his hands in his pockets, and he held on to the 3 gold buttons. And after the meal, they sang the Shabbat songs and recited the Birkat Hamazon, the blessing after the meal. And he said to his wife, "It was a wonderful meal, and I thank you very much. But why? Why did you accept charity?" And she said, "But I didn't." And she told him the story of how she had been cleaning in the cellar and found the sport coat with the 3 gold buttons. And as she did, he said, "Stop." And he reached into his pocket, and he pulled out 3 gold buttons. And he said, "They came back to us." And they hugged each other in joy, and they said to each other, "Lishana tova tikatevu," my dear, and may this good year for us, for it has surely been begun in a wonderful way. So why do I tell this story? Why do I tell this story? Because blessing has a way of circling back. The same golden buttons that left the home in desperation returned again through the work of loving hands, through the giving and the receiving that bound a broken community together. Even in poverty, even in fear, what sustained them was not wealth or even certainty, but faith and generosity and trust. We're living in anxious times and unsettled days. The buttons in our pockets may feel small compared to the weight of the worries of the world. Yet this is precisely the time when we need to remember that every act of kindness moves in a circle. Every gift given comes back in ways that we cannot yet see. Every mitzvah we do strengthens the fabric that holds us. Shabbat Shuvah asks us to turn back toward Judaism, toward one another, and toward hope. And if we do, then like the couple in the story, we too will find that even in scarcity, there is enough. And even in trembling hearts, there can be joy. L'shana tova tikatevu, may this year be written for each of us in goodness, in blessing, and in peace. Shana tova. We'll continue with Aleinu, page 586.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום מחשבותה על לבבך, כי אדוני הוא אלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת, אין עוד ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
A reading before Kaddish Yatom, page 592. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die. People do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. The Kaddish prayer is on page 598. On this Shabbat, we recall those who died during this past week, whose families are in the midst of Shiva and Shloshim, who also died during these past 30 days. As I read the name of your loved one, if you could please rise and remain standing. Judith Edelman, Catherine Ardo, Donna Cohen, Dr. Doug Feinstone, Cantor Jonathan Grant, Keith Parnell, Margie Richards, Isabel Schuster, Carol Wildstein, Orca Weisblatt, Anna Wilnatova, and those for whom the Yortzeit, the anniversary of the death of your loved one, falls on this Shabbat, if you too could rise and remain standing. Sophie Baum, Panina Louise Block, Isidore Cherry, Abraham Chodas, Oscar Coheen, Sylvia Ebschutz, Arnold Faust, Nathan Fielder, Milton Freeman, Rose Godfrey, Albert Goldstein, Maury Harrison, Sidney Hendon, Isaac Herman, Richard Kozwarski, Rivka Lehrer, Maurice Larman, Ronald Levitt, Victor Levy, James Logan, Denise Lotwin, Marion Margolis, Golda Morris Friedman, Emil Nemirovsky, Mimi Netter, Isaac Penn, Molka Penn, Alan Perlman, Harold Pugash, Ria Pugash, Manya Reisman, Robert Remis, Goldie Rivers, Lola Rodberg, Ken Schneider, Harold Sobel, Michael David Steiner, Edith White Stern, Herb Tapley, Jack Wilmot, John Mormelli. If the names that I have missed or mispronounced, if you come to say Kaddish for any other reason, if you could please stand and call them out now one by one. And so in a moment like this where there is no one here to say Kaddish, we recognize our obligation to the memories of our loved ones, and we'll stand now to provide as a community a prayer in their memory and in honor of all of those who we have lost this past week, this past month, and at this time in years past. So I invite you, if you would, to join me in their memory. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, b'yomah divrach erutev yomlich malchuteh, b'chayachon v'yomechon ufhayed chol beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata daminron be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'imromav huya asei shalom aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort the bereaved among us, and we say together, amen. Amen. So we'll join in a kiddush and a motzi. Vayher vayboker yom hashishi vayachulu hashamayim ba'aretz v'kol tzeba'am vayachol Elohim b'yom hashvi melachto asher asa vayishbot b'yom hashvi mekom melachto asher asa vayvarech Elohim et yom hashvi v'kadesh oto kivo Shabbat mekom melachto asher bara Elohim la'asot. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishar b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho b'ahava v'ratzon itchilanu zikaron le'maseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikrai kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim kivanu b'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol amim v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon hidchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai b'kadesh haShabbat.
Amen.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Around challah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'immeru amen. Oseh shalom v'imroma v'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'immeru amen.
Torah study tomorrow morning at 8:30. Services at 10 a.m. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.